Hey everyone, it is Thursday, July 6th. The time is 1:39 p.m. and the temperature here in Toronto is about 28 degrees Celsius. I don't know why I said here in Toronto. That should be obvious by the title of the video and the fact that all my other recent videos have been from Toronto, but anywho, this is Huntley Street, and that's a look to the south. But for this one, I'll be making my way over to Charles Street, which begins right there where Mount Pleasant Road ends at Jarvis, and I'll be walking west along the entire length of Charles Street. That'll take me over to University Avenue. That should cover a distance of about 1.2 kilometers. Then at University Avenue, I'll probably head up into St. George Station. We are expecting thunderstorms in a couple of hours, at least if the forecast is to be believed. But this here is Bloor Street East. Uh-oh, that guy is struggling to stay upright across the street. So this is where Mount Pleasant Road begins to the south, and it runs north up through the Yonge Lawrence neighborhood. And this is the east side of downtown, but when I finish up, we'll be on the west side. And this is Ted Rogers Way, although in a few blocks to the south of here it becomes Jarvis Street. There's a look at the Manulife building. All right, let's make our way down to Charles Street, a street that at least on the east side of downtown has been transforming quite a bit lately. All kinds of new condo developments have been going up. There's a look at a number of the brands that are headquartered out of this building. Chatter, which is a discount cell phone network. Toronto Shopping Channel, or the Shopping Channel I think it is. Sportsnet, The Fan 590, Omni Television, City News 680, City TV, and a couple of radio stations, 98.1 and KISS 92.5. Rogers is of course a huge media conglomerate. And on this side is the Upper Jarvis neighborhood, and I did a walk through here last week. But this first stretch will be taking us through Church Wellesley. And when I cross over to the west side of downtown, I think that's the Bay Clover Hill neighborhood. And we'll also be walking through part of the University of Toronto. This condo here kind of has Mies van der Rohe, TD Center, and Seagram building vibes. For those little splashes of color. It would fit in at the TD Center complex downtown, I'm sure. And it looks like this is by the same developer across the street. Again, if you go on Google Maps Street View and you turn the clock back to 2007, Charles Street will look drastically different. You could say that about a lot of streets downtown. You can see a lot of the new high-rises straight ahead. I wouldn't have any issues living in this area. That looks like a utility building on the left. I think that's Toronto Hydro. And this first street we'll be crossing here is Church Street. There's got to be plans to put something in here, taylorbuild.ca. I wonder if this apartment building will be part of it. That's kind of a narrow lot. Someone's got a new microwave. I was watching an interesting YouTube video that said there's only a couple of different microwave manufacturers. All the major brands go through them. And it doesn't matter what brand you buy, if you open it up, they all look pretty much exactly the same inside. And over here is Charles at Church, and that's to be a 47-story condo. And that's to incorporate the existing facades of these buildings here. And that has been taking forever to go up. But it looks like it's finally starting to rise. And just south of here will be the heart of the Church Wellesley Village and the city's LGBTQ community. And that is where the Pride Street Festival was centered around. These homes here are no doubt heritage protected. From the low 800s to $2 million. When people talk about the city's housing affordability crisis, that right there kind of sums it up. And just to make matters worse, no doubt a number of these units will be snapped up by investors who turn them over to an Airbnb rental management company. Quite like the look of this one. There's not much in the way of retail frontage for a lot of these buildings. It's mostly a residential street. That is St. Charles Court. A lot of these smaller apartments are often spared from redevelopment as the developers will have to put rental units in the new buildings they build and offer for these people to claim those units when the new building is done at a comparable rent to what they're paying. And on the left is an outreach center of sorts called Sanctuary. And this is a string of 3 parks. But this one has been closed for quite a while at this end. But normally that would stretch south down to Dundonald Street and you could enter Wellesley Station. And I believe this is a boutique hotel. The Andor House. After party at our house. And here is Yonge Street. Charles Street East is no more. We'll be entering Charles Street West. Well, it's still there. You get the idea. That Tika Tea House used to be a Starbucks. A really old postal office building. Charles Street West is a very different feeling to Charles Street East. And there's 7 West Cafe. I think they're 24 hours. I've been there a few times. And it looks like a new retailer is moving in here. There used to be a really big Second Cup cafe on the corner. There's also a vintage video game store in there. And I can't walk by here without pointing out the Economy House. Serving up Japanese okonomiyaki, a meal I first had when I was in Nara, which is a city right next to Osaka. And Osaka is famous for okonomiyaki, as is Hiroshima. There is the 51-story Manulife Center. It's It's an 800 suite rental apartment building. It sits on the south end of Yorkville, so it's a luxury apartment building. The rents in there are quite expensive. And at one point, it was the tallest residential building in the city. And there's a lounge up on the 51st floor. I'm not sure what it goes by now, but it used to be called Panorama, and I remember going there once. I'm gonna have to do an indoor walk through the Manulife Center. I don't think I've ever covered it on the channel. Slab burgers. And we are at Bay Street. Looks like we'll have the light in a few seconds. There's the Bay Charles Towers. I believe those are rentals as well. Now Charles Street changes in character once again. It becomes kind of a quieter, more upscale residential street. This property of the University of Toronto, yes, Victoria University. This is their Human Resources and Ancillary Services building. So this area starts to bleed into the University of Toronto. There's a Michelin star restaurant right there on the corner, and or it's just a half block to the north, and I forget its name. And I lived right next door to the guy who manages it when I lived in Korea. I think I would have remembered the name of the restaurant where he works. So this is where Victoria University is, and the University of Toronto. Most of U of T is on the west side of Queen's Park. There's Burwash Hall. And that dates back to 1913. That's a residence. Let's just take a quick peek in here. Big dining hall is on the right. It's not hard to see why U of T often doubles in American movies as an Ivy League college based in the States. Ed's Cafe is straight ahead. And I think on the right here is the Isabel Bader Theater. That's a 500-seat theater that hosts various screenings. Somewhere in there is the theater. This Ned guy is doing a good job advertising his cafe. Oh, there it is. How wrong was I? There's the Isabel Bader Theater. I remembered it was on the end of the street. Busted for not doing my homework. Left turns here. So this brings us to Queen's Park. There's the old McLaughlin Planetarium across the street that's going to be redeveloped by U of T. There's still a functioning planetarium up at the Science Center, which for some reason our dumbass premier wants to pick up and move to a new location, just so he can free up that plot of land for developers. There's the ROM, the most famous museum in Toronto, the ultimate T-Rex. On the right here we have the Gardner Ceramic Museum. I have never been. North of this intersection, Queen's Park becomes Avenue Road. On the left side is the Annex neighborhood. On the right side is Yorkville. So this is west on the north side of Bloor Street West. And at Bedford Road, I'm going to pop up and head into St. George Station.
When they find that out. Alrighty. See you.
It is hot. I've only been recording this for 27 minutes so far. Already ready to call it a wrap and go home and hop into the shower once again. Varsity Stadium across the street. And the former mayor of Toronto, John Tory, who recently stepped down and was just replaced by Olivia Chow. Either lives or used to live in this condo here. So we're gonna pop into the station here. And I'm gonna hit line 2. The next stop to the west here, Spadina, also has an interchange between line 1 and 2, but this one is considerably more convenient. And I want to be at the eastern end of the platform for an easy transfer to the Yonge line. Next train, 1 minute. But there we go. I hope you enjoyed this one. Walking along Olive Charles Street across downtown from Jarvis to Queen's Park. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below if you wish to support what I do. There's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership in the description. And I've recently added all the names of the channel members to the end screen of these videos, so stay tuned for that if you're a member. And I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button if you wish to say thanks that way. Anywho, I think the train is rolling in. So, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Oh, this is taking longer than I thought. Yoink.